Tonight on the Marion Star Live, we wrap up a week in weather for you with a special report. We also hear from city leaders about the snow removal process, and we learn about the tragic death of a beloved city employee and about the funeral arrangements celebrating his life. And we visit Wildcat Sports this week as they prepare for another game this weekend against Mount Vernon and one against Murfreesboro. All that and so much more on tonight's Marion Star Live.
Now live from Swinford Media Group. The Marion Star, where Marion is the star.
Good evening and welcome to the Marion Star Live. I'm Rachel Stroud. Tonight we're coming to you from Tower Square Plaza in Marion, where you can see what remains of about 7 inches of snowfall that we've had over the last few days. Now this, combined with snowdrifts up to 3 feet tall, single-digit temperatures, and icy conditions, forced many businesses and schools to close down. Aaron Price wraps up this week in weather with this special report.
Yeah, that's right. The largest winter storm in years halted most activities in southern Illinois earlier this week, leaving many people stranded at their homes. Route 13 in Marion was covered in snowfall on Monday afternoon as road crews from the Illinois Department of Transportation worked throughout the day to keep traffic moving. The snowfall also stranded some motorists on the side of the road and in parking lots. According to Illinois State Police District 13, officers responded to about 122 motorist assists and 38 traffic crashes throughout the event. One Illinois State Police District 13 squad car was hit while parked on the side of the interstate in Jefferson County, injuring the trooper inside of the vehicle at the time of the accident. The driver involved in that accident also faces charges of failure to reduce speed to avoid a crash and failure to yield to a stationary emergency vehicle, also known as Scott's Law. Also on Monday, a frozen fire hydrant made it difficult for fire crews to extinguish this double house fire in Johnston City. One of the homes burnt to the ground on Monday, and the second home rekindled and burnt on Tuesday morning. No one was injured in either fire, and the cause of the initial blaze is still under investigation. Meanwhile, the frigid temperatures also created many water issues throughout the region, leading to this large water main break in Carterville. Crews worked throughout the day in downtown Carterville to repair the issue. City customers were later placed under a boil water order for several hours. Carterville Mayor Brad Robinson tells us the city's aging water system likely led to the issues. Also on Monday, police responded to 3 traffic pileups on Interstate 57 in southern Illinois. One of those pileups occurred at the West Frankfort exit in Franklin County, and the other 2 occurred near Mount Vernon in Jefferson County. Thankfully, no one was injured. Later in the day, the Illinois State Police issued a temporary tow ban for Districts 12 and 13. Nearly 13,000 customers in southern Illinois were without power on Tuesday morning amid brutally cold temperatures. According to Marion, Illinois, most of those outages occurred in Jefferson and Perry counties. And last but not least, we would like to share some drone footage we captured over Tower Square Plaza in Marion and at Crab Orchard Lake following the snowfall on Monday. Although this storm caused many difficulties locally, there was certainly lots of beautiful scenery to be seen across the area. Now, at the end of the day, it was very difficult to get accurate snow accumulation amounts due to drifting snow, but we have measured about 7.5 inches of snowfall here in Marion at the end of this event. For now, reporting in Marion for the Marion Star Live, I'm Aaron Price.
Thanks, Aaron. While the worst of the weather was beginning to settle in Sunday morning, tragedy struck our community when a beloved city employee and family man lost his life while on the job. David Williams, who is 57, was conducting a regular inspection at Marion's wastewater treatment facility. Bill Swinford caught up with Mayor Absher at this point to learn more about what happened.
A man remembered for being the ultimate family man died tragically in an apparent accident at the City of Marion's wastewater treatment facility Sunday morning. Chief Wastewater Plant Operator David W. Williams went missing at 7 a.m. Sunday while conducting a normal operations inspection at the facility on South Van Buren Street. A co-worker immediately called emergency crews to begin a search.
On the weekends, they have, if I understand it right, 4-hour shifts, and they start at 7. that machinery and those tanks have to be tended to, not just during Monday through Friday. So there's just normal maintenance that has to be done. And so he was supposed to be there. It was his shift. And but at this point, we have no idea, literally no idea, how he ended up in the water.
Just before 10 a.m., Williams's body was recovered by search crews from one of the treated water storage clarifiers. The Illinois State Police and the Williamson County Coroner's Office are investigating the death.
We all want those answers because closure. I'm sure the family would like to know what happened. His coworkers desperately want to know what happened, and I don't know that we will. I hope they can figure out some clue or something on how it happened, but at this point, we're all at a loss.
Williams, who was 57, leaves behind his wife, Stephanie, and 2 sons and a daughter-in-law, Evan Williams and Lucas and Stephanie Williams. David and Stephanie were married for nearly 33 years. Together, they owned and operated the dairy barn in Goreville from 1987 until 1998 and would spend weekends working for his family's business, C&W Testing. After selling the dairy barn, he took the job with the city of Marion.
He worked for the city for 23 years or thereabouts. Just a really outstanding employee. Went above and beyond in his job, but from what I have observed personally and have heard from his friends and family, he was one heck of a family man.
David was a member of the Second Baptist Church in Marion, and along with his wife, worked in the church's kindergarten Sunday school class for almost 20 years. He had a passion for politics, history, and was a proud member of the Republican Party. He loved watching St. Louis Cardinals baseball and cooking. Many memories were made with his sons, teaching them to cook. David's son Lucas expressed the family's gratitude on social media Tuesday. Thank you to everyone for the amazing and overpowering response. My dad was loved by everyone he met. I would do anything in the world to have him back. He was a precious jewel to our family and to all his friends and co-workers. Thank you to all City of Marion employees. You are the definition of what true loving people are. Thank you to all our family for the loving and continued support. My dad loved his job and loved his co-workers and was dedicated to his job. He will be missed until we see him in heaven. Once again, thank you to everyone who's been so supportive in this tragic nightmare. I love you, Dad. We all love you so much. Lucas and his wife are expecting a daughter in May, David's first grandchild. I know you were excited to be part of your granddaughter's life, Lucas wrote. You said when you retired you would pick her up from kindergarten. I will tell her how amazing you are. I'll tell Josephine all the funny stories about you, and will spoil her extra since you said you would. Arrangements have been made at Wilson McReynolds Funeral Home in Marion. The visitation will be Monday, February 22nd from 4 to 7 p.m., and the funeral service will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. David's wife, Stephanie, was a member of the Marion High School class of 1986, and the class is raising funds to assist the family with funeral and other expenses. There will be a spaghetti dinner fundraiser at the Marion Elks on March 3rd from 4 to 6 p.m. In addition, a GoFundMe page has been set up in David's name, and Watermark Auto Group is helping fund the effort to raise $15,000.
So it's a tragic loss for everybody involved. Everybody involved. His family, of course, is mourning and suffering, and it's a very sweet, God-loving family, and we all hurt for them terribly. But his coworkers are really quite distraught too. So I'm praying for them, and I hope everybody else will pray for not just the family, but for his colleagues, because they're struggling.
Reporting from the Marion Star Live, I'm Bill Swinford.
As Bill said, services for David Williams will be next Tuesday at Wilson McReynolds Funeral Home with visitation Monday evening, also at the funeral home. Mayor Absher also applauded the Marion Fire Department and other local emergency response teams who worked the scene of the incident.
Yeah, there was a multitude of agencies that responded to it, and they all did great as usual. I sent a note to the Marion Fire Department Chief Tim Barnett. It's just the professionalism they show, not just in being prepared, but how they dealt with informing the family and everything from the search, from the recovery to even having to personally go, which he did along with Commissioner Stecklin and police chief and the public works superintendent Brent Kane. That had to be a very difficult thing to do, and they did that 3 different times to inform different elements of the family. So the professionalism that they showed, the empathy that they showed was just astounding. I mean, it really is astounding. So fire department in particular is one of those that, maybe you don't appreciate it as much as until there's tragedy or some sort of a stress. And this was both, on all kinds of fronts. And when those situations happen, that's when they shine through the best. And it is, it's really quite impressive, frankly. And so we very thankful for them and everybody that was out there, all the different agencies. It was didn't have a good result, but the professionalism they showed is, again, a pride of Marion, Illinois.
We also talked to Mayor Absher about the city workers who have worked so hard to make the roads passable during this week of snow and ice. Here's what he had to say.
It probably goes to reason that a lot of it's taken for granted. You don't see a lot of that until something like this happens. It's not visible what they're doing until there's snow needing to be removed and that kind of thing. But this was a particularly difficult one to kind of stay ahead of. And, I think we've got 212 miles or so of city streets, which doesn't talk about alleys, doesn't talk about sidewalks and all that kind of stuff, or even the whole big area of the square. So it takes an awful lot of effort to clean all that up and clear it off. So they work early in the morning till late at night. Just imagine doing that all day long. For anybody that's shoveled snow manually or even inside of a truck, it's hard work. It's slower going than you think. And so they work an incredible amount of hours, first of all, during an event like this. And they don't stop. They don't stop until it's clean and passable, and then they have to go back and do it again. So, and I think the most telling thing to me, I just said this to you before we started talking, but it's worth everybody else knowing. I get lots of phone calls for lots of different things, and as people can probably imagine, I'm certainly not complaining about it. I'm just saying most of those phone calls are something that somebody's requesting to be done or a complaint. I've actually had 2 voicemails. I was so proudful of that this morning from constituents just thanking the city street department for the excellent job they've done with specific to this event. So I think it is evident how good of a job for the most part to everybody that they've done, and kind of the pride of the city at this point.
When we come back, we'll remember one of the biggest snow events in our region's history. Stay with us.
Swinford Media and the Marion Star are proud to have the Watermark Auto Group as a sponsor of all our digital programming.
Swinford Media and the Marion Star appreciate the support of the Arcadia Wealth Group, which is sponsoring Wildcat Wednesdays and our Turning Back Time segments.
In Mayor Bob Bettler's several terms in office, he dealt with many natural disasters. But in 1979, he dealt with a record-breaking snowfall here in Marion. Here's Bill with the Turning Back Time segment to learn more.
The game of basketball was on the mind of many in Southern Illinois on the weekend of February 23rd and 24th, 1979. In Heron's last home game of the season, the 1979 varsity Tigers, coached by Jeff Ferguson, hosted the Marion Wildcats, coached by the young Gene Watson, in South 7 action. Despite a great effort from Marion's Tony Jones, who scored 30 points and pulled down 11 rebounds, The Wildcats lost to their rivals. Heron seniors Irv Lukens and Craig Baumgart combined for 51 points in Heron's 71-62 victory. Others contributing to the Heron cause were senior Dempsey Elders and junior Gil Tope. On Saturday, the SIU Salukis defeated Drake 76-73 as they prepared for the Missouri Valley Conference playoffs. El Dorado native Barry Smith scored 14 points, and standout seniors Gary Wilson and Milt Huggins played their final games at the arena. But by Sunday morning, most folks were focused on staying home as a predicted snowfall turned into an unexpectedly traumatic event, canceling some church services and stranding others who had gone to church or ventured out on the winter morning. February 25, 1979 attacked with force. According to a National Weather Service record provided to the Swinford Publications Group by WSIL-TV3 meteorologist Nick Housen, the official Williamson County snow accumulation was not recorded until Monday, but even then it was 17.5 inches. That remains a record for our county and is one of the highest totals for any county in southern Illinois. Called the worst snowstorm since 1918, rescuers and road crews struggled to relieve suffering and prevent loss of life in the wake of that harsh winter weekend of '79, according to an article in the Marion Daily Republican. Combined with a wind that piled snowdrifts several feet deep on some streets and highways, the accumulation almost paralyzed the Williamson County area. Darla and C. McEwen of Heron recalled that they had just gotten a new four-wheel drive Bronco that could go anywhere, and they rescued travelers stranded on Interstate 57. They took them to churches in Johnson City that were providing shelter to stranded motorists, and the pair put 500 miles on their new Ford with the Snowbiter tires over the next 2 days. An estimated 200 travelers found refuge in Marion's Longfellow School, including 20 taken from a Greyhound bus stalled on the interstate near Marion. 2 other buses were stalled in Johnson County. They included a group of square dancers who helped entertain 800 to 900 stranded motorists who spent Sunday night in Vienna High School. The U.S. Penitentiary of Marion sent 500 blankets and food to that school. The number of people stranded on highways was estimated at 2,000 in Williamson and adjacent counties. Some were lucky enough to find rooms in motels jammed with travelers. Charlie Groves of Heron said he and his wife were planning a 6th birthday party for their oldest daughter Amy on that Sunday, but they just had to cancel. The snow just kept coming, he said, and Amy was not happy. That huge Sunday snow brought to 53.8 inches the total snowfall for January and February 1979. Several buildings were damaged when roofs collapsed under the weight of all that snow, including the Heron Bowl located south on Route 148 as it is today. Then owners Ray and Beverly Griffith were at the bowling alley that Sunday celebrating a family birthday. Several other roofs collapsed in the county. The entire building at Bill's Automotive in Marion succumbed to the snow on its roof. The Southern Illinois newspaper termed the list of damaged businesses and homes as an epidemic of roof collapses. In this grainy photo, you could just make out the image of 15-year-old Brian Almarode, who, like many others, was trying to dig out the family car, his on South Carbon Street in Marion. Answering a call to a stranded automobile 6 miles south of Marion on South Market Street Road, the Pulley Ambulance Service removed a woman who was on her way to Marion Memorial Hospital to have a baby. During the 6 hours it took to reach the car and then return to Marion, Mrs. Doris Pulley of the ambulance service anticipated that the baby would be delivered in the ambulance, but the expectant mother reached the hospital before the birth. D. Rod, a member of the Williamson County Airport Authority, reported to the Marion Daily that about 75 people spent the night at the airport. 60 people found shelter in the terminal building, 15 others in the hangar. Marion Mayor Bob Butler called the office of Governor James Thompson on Monday morning about assistance from the Illinois Department of Transportation. He was advised that heavy snowfall equipment maintained by the state for use in central and northern Illinois were on their way to the southern Illinois area. Many of the vehicles that had been abandoned on the interstates and state highways were left in the driving lanes and had to be towed one by one before snowplows and removal equipment could even get through on Tuesday, February 27th. Fortunately, a high temperature in the 40s began a thaw of the great snow on Wednesday, February 28, 1979. As always, thanks to Sam Latuca of the Marion, Illinois Historic Preservation website for background information and photos. Arcadia Wealth Group sponsors all of our Turning Back Time segments, and we are also grateful for that. Reporting for the Marion Star Live, I'm Bill Swinford.
Last weekend, the basketball Wildcats finally got to get back on the hardwood, and we got to live stream their first game back. Now, it was a big win over the Route 13 rivals, Carbondale, and the boys showed up and showed off. Here are a few sights and sounds from last Friday's game.
343 days, that's how long it's been since we were last inside this gym for live Marion Wildcat basketball, but we are back here tonight 11 months and sometime later for the Marion Wildcats and Carbondale Terriers here live on the Marion Star Facebook. Turnover for Carbondale, Vincent Newsom with the dunk. Bardo skips it out to Simmons. He'll try the three in the left corner, and he hits.
I just felt like maybe an extra week of preparation. We were more prepared than last week, and our kids had a good week of practice. We were able to get practices in all week, so they were excited to finally play a home game.
Oh man, we came out here ready to go. We worked hard every day at practice this week, 2 hours, we all walked in pretty well.
To give it to Rajon Bardo.
I agree. I think he deserves it. He was a leading scorer. He played great defense. He didn't turn the ball over a lot, made a lot of rebounds. He was all over the court today.
Alongside Brett Bradley, I'm Riley Swinford, repeating the final score. Marion 69, Carbondale 25. Good night from Wilson Gym.
Now, the Wildcats are back on the hardwood this weekend as they welcome Mount Vernon to Cuss Wilson Gymnasium on Friday night, and Murfreesboro makes the trip down Route 13 on Saturday afternoon. Freshman, JV, and varsity squads will all get the chance to play, and you can catch all the action live right here on our Facebook page, brought to you by Johnny Logan College and Watermark Auto Group.
The sooner we're able to see a patient after an injury, the better the outcome. What direct access means is that you can seek services for physical therapy without an order from a physician. So you can either call the clinic directly or come into the clinic and schedule an appointment to see one of our physical therapists. We can often avoid either medication use or unnecessary imaging, but we will do a thorough evaluation, and if we find a reason to referral to a specialist or to their primary care provider, we will do so.
When you're shopping for a new or used vehicle at Watermark, you'll notice the Warranty Forever sticker on the windshield. Here's what that actually means. The powertrain on the vehicle is covered for unlimited mileage and unlimited time. That's the engine and transmission. There's no cost to you. It covers 100% parts and 100% labor. That means when you purchase a vehicle from Watermark, you have coverage for as long as you own the vehicle. So when you think of Watermark, think of Warranty Forever and true peace of mind.
Major support for this and other Swinford Media productions is provided by the owners of Black Diamond Harley-Davidson and their family of businesses.
Our readers and viewers have shared with us tons of photos and different images from their snow adventures this past week, and we wanted to share some with you now. liked tonight's broadcast, be sure you like, comment, and share. Tag your friends in the comments below if you think that there's something that we discussed on tonight's show that they'd enjoy seeing. Now, if you're watching live with us tonight, be sure you stay with us because after this broadcast, we will be showing you live Wildcat athletics from Cuss-Wilson Gymnasium. For Bill Swinford, Aaron Price, and the rest of our crew behind the camera, I'm Rachel Stroud. Thank you for watching and good night.
The proceeding has been a production of the Marion Star Live. The material may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, or otherwise used without the prior written consent of Swinford Publications, LLC.